What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, we're going to VOD review a new challenger in the Rank 1 race. This is Aesah. So you can see Setsuko and YBY up here, very, very high up. But Aesah, very close by. And look at his number of games played, just so much further. About the same as Dish Soap, but about 100 LP higher. And if you look at Aesah's graph, look at this, man. After like a couple of days, he's climbed like 500 LP up to rank 3 North America. So I thought, let's watch some Aesah, see what he's doing, see how he is climbing so hard. He's watching Soju in a very dubious egg spot right now, who looks like he's about to go 8th. But I mean, what's new in that situation? I mean, surely he's gonna pivot back to his own game in a second. Okay, I didn't know, he hovered out of it. Okay, we're golden gala as our portal, so all of our augments will be gold this game. But yeah, I mean, Aesah, a very strong player. He's been in and out of the competitive scene. He was a professional poker player before playing TFT, and then started playing TFT for a while. Said that he couldn't justify going full-time TFT, so he said he was gonna like stop playing. But I mean, look at his games played. Maybe he has a job outside of this, but I don't know. He's obviously dedicating a lot of time to TFT and being good. So really cool to see that and see what he's doing here. We have a Sivir 2 already, so we're kind of held between a couple of openers here. Also, ooh, that is one of the juicy Exalted. So there's Hui, Irelia that we can play, and then I didn't see all the other ones, but we might be able to play around Exalted late this game, because anytime there's a couple of 5 costs in there, I mean, you can easily fit Hui plus Irelia on your board, and then it's just a question of getting the last one on there. We get offered Storyweaver Crest, which is a fantastic augment to start the game with, especially because we already have a Sivir 2. And so I think we're already off to the races and saying that we're going to play around Vertical Storyweaver this game. Sadly, that means we can't play around that Yone opener that we had, but we can do something like this. This is actually a pretty cool setup as well, playing around the Caitlyn plus the Shen here, saying our board is strong enough at this point with the Caitlyn, with the Shen, and then with 3 Storyweaver that we can potentially play for win streak here. And I mean, our first board's going to be pretty easy. Patient Study. For some reason, I feel like that's not what that's called, but I think it is called Patient Study. Fortune board, and I don't know what we're gonna do some stats real quick. All right, he's gonna look up 7 Storyweaver, see what. Ooh, I didn't know you could even do this. I didn't know you could even look up items by that. But yeah, if you pull up the stats, it says that the Green Talisman playing 7 Storyweaver is by far the strongest. I didn't even know it showed up in items. That's wild. Okay, well, Aesah showing why he's one of the best. He is a really good stat checker. He knows all of these. He talks about this a lot, about like, you're using stats incorrectly if you think about them this way. You shouldn't. If an augment is broken in a comp, a really good example I think he would talk about, it's called like, is it called Spooky House? The ghostly augment. You would probably say that this is like not a very good augment, and the reason why it actually looks pretty good in the stats is because you're playing it with ghostly. So like, you would do better to just mentally commit to playing ghostly instead of actually just taking that augment that commits you here. In this case, we have Storyweaver +1, and that's actually gonna make our Storyweaver setup a lot stronger because we can get to 7 much easier. We don't have to hit the Irelia. We can just play 7 without the Irelia, which is really nice. Also, the spike, once you hit 5, we need to pick up our Zoe or our Zyra. Once you get one of those, you really hit a big power spike. And yeah, I mean, he's playing really aggro for win streak here. The double level at 2-2 was pretty wild. It means we're actually going to be pretty far behind on econ this game, so gotta be a little careful. If we lose our streak this stage, we're gonna be in a rough spot. And that's why we went for the Renan Slam, right? It's a good item on Sivir for now. It'll help us maintain streak, and it is, if you look at the stats, and Ace is a stat checker, the stats say it is the single best item on Irelia, so I think that's the other reason why we made it. With Tear Up in here, especially are you playing for streak, I'd look for a frontline item. There's also a Zoe on Carousel. Yeah, you can just pick up the Zoe here. Now we have 5 Storyweaver. The question is, what are we cutting? You could potentially, just play this Rek'Sai plus the Zoe, and the Red Scroll of Haste, I think, is really, really nice. Yep, just go for this setup. Storyweaver Crest there. I think we are absolutely chilling. There's also an Alawi in our shop, which tends to be what you like to play on this board, because it just fills out the synergies so well. It gives you Arcanist and Warden, and then you can also get Ghostly in later with Morgana. That's how I usually play around this. It's Alawi Morgana as our 2 extras at 8, because that gives us, it's Sage with Zyra, Ghostly with the other one that we're playing, the Morgana / the Alawi. It's Warden with Garen, and it is Arcanist with Zoe. And I think that's all, but it's 4 extra synergies on your board. It is really, really nice. So yeah, and Ace is gonna go for it here. I like this. Ooh, that was a little close. They didn't. I mean, it's fine if you slam it during combat. I believe. But yeah, it was a little scary there for a second. But yeah, I think this makes perfect sense. You play the Alawi over the Rek'Sai this round. It's probably like a hair weaker, just a tiny bit weaker because it's not a 2-star unit. Ooh, I think we're going to keep our streak here, but this is really scary. But the upside is we get to make 20 gold here, which is so important. It's just a really efficient usage of our gold, playing a pretty strong board still, but getting to make 20 gold here, which means we get to make 30 gold this round and hold on to the Garen, which is fantastic. I mean, this is an amazing start. And this is often how Story Weaver Crest games go, because 5 Story Weaver is just such a spike early. 2 gloves here, feel like we're going to have to make a TG this game. Also, these items are really awkward, actually. Like, you could make a Hodge if you want to. Hodge onto the Sivir and then leave Rod open for, like, a Morello. I guess that's what I would look to make here. It's a little annoying, though. But yeah, I like the TG slam here. I think I would go TG. It's TG always, and then I guess it's Hodge if it would swing a fight. There's not really anything else I'd like to make here. You could make, like, an Archangel or something. I mean, it's fine on Zoe. I think you prefer to get some kind of heal cut in this comp through Morello, because Zoe spreads it really well as well. That's what I would look for here. But that's just my opinion, and we're going to see what Aesah is cooking up this game. Second augment here. Oh, the stats. I had someone tell me the stats on keepers in this comp actually look really, really good. I think I'll do a quick stat check. We're also going to level here because, you know, we can. It's going to give us Ghostly. We have to play a decent unit. Also allows us to put Hodge on a unit that really likes it in this cane. So yeah, I like this a lot. But yeah, let me do a quick stat check here. I'm just gonna do what Aesah did: 7 Explore, look up 7 Story Weaver, and then I'm gonna go to augments at 3-2, and I want to compare keepers, and this is Combat Caster that we got. The stats say it's Combat Caster. The stats say it's really close though. 3.79 versus 3.73. Both are really, really strong. Some of the best possible gold augments that we can get, actually. What would be a better gold augment here? It says Wandering Trainer, but that's, you know, assuming that you hit Ultra Crest Martyr, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it looks like both are fantastic options. Actually very, very close. But something to keep in mind, the Keeper is actually pretty decent in this comp. You know, better than even some augments like Gifts of the Fallen, Know Your Enemy, tons of stats, Stand United. It's something that I didn't really think about, but somebody mentioned it to me, and it certainly makes sense, right? I mean, you're always going to be clumping your backline a little bit with the Kale and the Sivir, and then, you know, like your front line, you end up clumping up a decent bit anyway, so makes sense. But yeah, 8 streak here from Aesah. We can just level next round, probably get this Teemo in. Item-wise here, what do we have open? We still have, we have the Rod, just the Rod open, right? I'd love to pick up a Morello here. A 4-cross Morello would be a godsend, but yeah, we can't get that. I guess you just pick up the Alawi pair with Cloak. Oh no, he's gonna go for Sword, actually. Okay. Yeah, I would go for Alawi pair with Cloak here, just because it's Alawi's. This is an extra Sivir, which is nice if you want to move items later. And yeah, I would probably always level here, get the Teemo in. He's going to actually move his units around Sivir so that he gets that Sivir ult onto all of them, because she ults everyone around her. So that's a nice way to, you know, just maximize the Sivir's effectiveness. And as long as there's no scary AoE, then it's fine. And wow, he's going to go for the Gunblade here. This means we're going to have no heal cut this game outside of like the Zyra, but that's really minimal. But it is a good slam here and allows us to play for streak. I don't really know that we needed to slam at this fight. But I think also talking about stats on Irelia, I'm pretty sure Gunblade is very high up there as well. This is kind of unfortunate that we could be set on a win streak or a loss streak, but we're already on a streak. So I guess we'll just take the 3 gold. I mean, it's just a little rough for other people who might end up getting a free streak from this spot. Oh, I didn't even realize, by the way, looking at the right side here, we got YBY1 in this lobby, we got T-Lides in this lobby, 2 incredibly strong players. So this is actually a pretty nice lobby. I mean, you're Aesah, you're ranked 3 North America. You're going to be fighting some strong players in every single lobby, so it makes sense. But yeah, we got hopefully one more fight to keep our streak. Oh yeah, we just stomped this person. He's actually looking at somebody. He's looking at other people to see if like they're keeping their streaks. And yeah, it's going to end up being 3 streaks coming out of this stage. And wow, Natural Link Zoe 2 is actually huge for us there, because it means you probably don't have to roll at all. We can probably just go a fast 8. I mean, like, honestly, you could probably go 8 at 4-2 regardless. But I mean, certainly in this setup, it makes sense. And the other thing that I was thinking about with regards to that Gunblade slam is I think it's the same idea as the Renan slam, is that it's like BIS on Irelia. Did I already say this? I'm not sure. But it's a really, really strong item for Irelia. So I think that's the other idea behind it. It's just, I love me my Morello so much. But keeping streak, slamming items, you know, it's just basic TFT. We're going to fight another pretty weak board. This guy has, okay, his backline, he has a few 2-star units, but I almost looked like his entire board was 1-star. So we're going to roll over this board. We already leveled to 8 here. I have to imagine we're going to roll this coming round to pick up a Galio. I'm surprised if we went 8 this round that we didn't roll at all, but let's see what our last augment is here. I mean, I like Harm Assist a decent bit. Stand United is fine as well. Yeah, we already have double healing, so you don't love Harm Assist. he rolled into Stand United. I like it decently. It's just that we're not going to have that many. Ooh, wait a minute. Wait. Aesah's not going to roll here. He's using his duplicator. So he's just saying, I'm going to commit to this board, move these items over to Sivir, where they were always quite strong, and play, I mean, a pretty decent Stand United board. We have a lot of traits in here. And he's just going to go fast 9 in this spot. Wow, the 0 roll at 8. I mean, I think I would have been really tempted to roll at 8 here to try to pick up some upgrades to keep our streak. Like, I mean, it's 1 Galio is what we need to look for here. But the thing is, like, he wins this fight anyway without rolling. I think he's accurately judged that his board is still really strong. So why not just go 9 in a few rounds as opposed to having to roll on 8? We can keep this dummy safe for an extra gold, which, yeah, he's going to go for it. I mean, this board, I'm a bit surprised that it's strong enough to win at like beginning of stage 4. I'm sure that we're gonna lose one of these fights soon enough. Look at the lobby HP as well, though, man. Ace at 100 HP, and then second place is 67. It's so low. I feel like a lot of people, there's usually like one Mr. 100 if there's someone who's 100 HP, and then there's someone else who's like, like 80 HP who's like winning most of the fights. But no, like Ace is dominating the lobby. But all good things have to come to an end. We fight this player who's pretty strong. Yeah, we are gonna end up losing to them. I think probably 7 Star Weaver would have won this fight, but the question is just how much gold do you have to roll to find a Galio? And I think Aesah judged that he would have to roll too much to actually end up finding 1 Galio, so he's, just gonna go fast 9 here. And he's also, if you roll, you run the risk of missing, right? If you don't roll, you're always just going 9 regardless, right? So I could certainly see this play. I think it makes a good amount of sense. He is finally gonna go for the belt here, or what I'd have to imagine is the Morellos. You can even go Morello on Irelia, by the way. I believe it's not bad. I think red buff is better, though I would probably end up going it on the Zoe here just because we need somebody to put it on. Maybe he has the idea of putting it on Set here. I mean, he could also, okay, yeah. Actually, I like it on Teemo a good bit as well. Teemo bounces with the trick shot, especially if you're thinking about putting on Irelia, that being our setup, the Gunblade plus Renans plus Morello. We'll see what it ends up being. The question then is, where would the Hodge go? Maybe onto some other 5-cost unit like a Wukong who fits pretty well into this board. You can get like Wukong Soraka in for the Ultras plus the Heavenly plus the Sage. Ooh, and then you're really cooking. And then late game you can also play around like Rakan and Dragon Lord type units. There's a lot that you can do in this comp. Item-wise here, the chain is pretty awkward to play around. Yeah, we're gonna go Death Cap here. Death Cap plus potentially Crown Guard on our front line if we want it. Death Cap for... I mean, who's our AP carry really going to be in this comp? I mean, our other options look pretty bad. You could go like Titans, but then you're left with extra bows. You have to go for like red buff and then your red buff Morello, which feels really bad. I mean, I like Death Cap. I just don't really know where the Death Cap's going because it doesn't look like he's interested in playing around like the Morgana. Like the Morgana is when you stabilize on 8 with, but he's just going 9. So I don't know. Maybe we can just fit a random Hui onto this board and go Death Cap Morellos on Hui. I mean, Hui's never bad. We can use Hui to hit the rest of our upgrades, like this random Zyra 2, get another Sivir 2 when we move the items off. I mean, it works really well. There's Soraka 2 and Zyra 2, which are a little pricey, but I think we do want to be playing into both of them later, so I think it's reasonable to make both, but looks like he is not interested in actually picking up the Soraka 2-star. Yeah, he ends up selling one. So yeah, ooh, that's a lot of gold though. Oh, and he just gets dropped a Galio. I mean, that's fantastic. Now we can play for 7 Story Weaver. I mean, just on our current board. And we are 112 gold here, so one more round and then we'll level up. Oh, and he goes for the green kale. Interesting. I wonder what the stats say about this actually. Oh, I accidentally minimized the stats page because he was looking at stats earlier, but I thought that the other one was better actually. Oh wait, I can't even find it the way he found it. I'll go back and look at it later. But I'm actually surprised that he oh, do you have to put Kale in as like a unit? Does that even work? Okay, I'll have to go back and look at how he did that. He's a genius because I didn't know you could even look for it and I still can't figure it out. In any case, I've heard that the red Kale is better, but you know, we're just gonna go 9 here, roll down. We are gonna pick up the Wukong because it fits so well. We found Galio 2 pretty quickly. We're actually gonna make Teemo 2 just as an upgrade. I have to imagine that's gonna come out later for, I mean, it depends. It really depends. Either you get off of these carries. I mean, you have to, right? And you can use Zaya as like your AD item holder and then keep Trickshot in, or you can just get out of Trickshot completely. But yeah, I mean, this Kale does decent damage. I mean, she resurrects a random... I mean, resurrecting the random Garen there looks pretty bad. Like, those are the fights where this Kale looks pretty bad. But I think Aesah has the idea that he has so much damage on his board and so many strong units already, especially once he hits that Wukong too, that he doesn't really need to play around the red Kale as Kale is like a damage dealer. We finally pick up Irelia. We're actually going to make this pivot into... we're going to sell the Sivir and move items over to Irelia, which I don't see all the time. And yeah, Hui can hold these items perfectly. It's double healing Irelia, which is a little bit awkward, but I mean, Hui is such a good holder of the Morellos. I think ideally he wanted it onto Irelia, but now that he knows he's playing around Hui, he's just going to go this setup. And yeah, you can see the Renan's proc from Irelia doing a ton of work. She's so good. Oh, this also is the Exalted board. I talked about that at the start of the game, and then I completely forgot about it. So yeah, we're actually playing Exalted on this board as well, which is fantastic. My god, that's a Hui 2 with an Archangels on it. I mean, that is just... That's everything that you could ever want. You just third item for Hui, and it's a Hui too, which is fantastic here. But yeah, I mean, our board looks amazing. I wonder what our last Exalted unit was, because whatever it just fits perfectly onto this board. Like maybe it was random Garen or something. I don't know this exact Exalted combination. Either way, though, this fits really, really well. And I mean, this is just gonna end up being our board. The only downside is we have a random Wukong too with no items. I mean, he fills out synergies really, really well. Like I was talking about, the Heavenly and the Sage are really, really nice to get on late game boards, but it is a little bit sad that, we don't actually get to itemize him because he's such a good item holder. We would love to get a TG off of minions here. That would be the dream here. And yeah, he's going to move the TG off the Garen because he finds an extra Garen. Really, really smart. We had that TG sitting on the Garen. Now it goes on Wukong, and boom, we are hard chilling. We hit a BT plus a Gunblade on this Wukong. I mean, that's fantastic. And he's gonna do so well with the Combat Caster and the Stand United here. So yeah, I mean, this is a great board. I will be surprised if we do not like top 2 this game. The only question is if we lose to someone who caps out insanely high. And these fights are a little scary for some of them. We end up making it through most of them, but yeah, a little bit scary. I mean, just with this amount of HP, we're probably guaranteed top... Well, I mean, we're guaranteed top 3, right? Surely someone's gonna die next fight, maybe 2 people if we win, and then we'd be guaranteed top 2. We want to live 2 fights so we actually get this Irelia too. So honestly, it's probably more likely that we're gonna roll next round and just end up hitting it. I mean, we're not going 10 in this spot. So you roll down here. Ideally, we find Irelia 2 here, so we just get that spike immediately. If we don't, we have the fallback plan of the way, but we would really like to just hit this Irelia here. We do not hit it. Item-wise, we're just going to look for Ionic Spark for frontline. Yeah, last Galio item, ideally. It's not my favorite Galio item, but, it's going to be really nice for the Sway, which is actually going to be a huge portion of our damage. And the Kale, which does a decent amount of magic damage. So we already have the Shred on the thingy, on the Kale ability. It's nice to have the repetitive Shred from the Ionic Spark, because Kale's not hitting everything. Oh, that's so funny. Wait, everyone dies? And then we just get extra player HP. And yeah, Aesah asks if the other player wants him to FF, because this guy has an Annie 3. This guy ended up hitting Annie 3. We were so busy hitting our entire board trying to find all of our upgrades. This guy had enough time to hit Annie 3. They also, were patient studies, so they had a ton of gold, and they had the Hui. So looks like I was talking about, somebody can cap out a little bit higher with the Annie 3, which is the strongest 3-star 4 cost in the game. And Ace is gonna save some time for himself and FF to the Annie 3. But yeah, I mean, that was a win out if there was not an Annie 3, and a second in this lobby with YBY, T-Lides. I mean, it's not bad at all. So yeah, this is a really cool game showing off how Aesah plays the game, how, he plays around Vertical Story Weaver, which is so strong right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, check out my Twitch, and all my other links down below. Thanks for watching.